Halfworks. Only 2 races to go. I will probably split this into 2 videos since it's so ridiculously long. The wild frontiers. Tribes of human and orc barbarians live in uneasy balance, fighting in times of war and trading in times of peace. Half-orcs who are born on the frontier may live with either human or orc parents, but they are nevertheless exposed to both cultures. Some, for whatever reason, leave their homeland and travel to civilized lands, bringing with them the tenacity, courage, and combat prowess that they have developed in the wilds. Half-orcs tend to be short-tempered and sullen. They would rather act than ponder, and would rather fight than argue. Those who are successful, however, are ones with enough self-control to actually live in a civilized lands. Not the crazy ones. Half-orcs love simple pleasures such as feasting, drinking, boasting, singing, wrestling, drumming, and wild dancing. Refined enjoyment such as poetry, courtly dancing, and philosophy are lost on them. At the right sort of party, a half-orc is an asset. At the Duchess' Grand Ball, he's a liability. Half-orcs stand between 6 to 7 feet tall and usually weigh between 180 to 250 pounds. As half-orcs grace pigmentation, sloppy forehead, shunting jaw, prominent teeth, and coarse body hair makes his lineage plain for all to see. Orcs like scars. They regard battle scars as tokens of pride, and oriental scars as things of beauty. Any half-orc who has lived among or near orcs has scars, whether they are marks of shame indicating servitude and identifying a half-orc's former owner, or marks of pride recounting conquest and high status. Such a half-orc living among humans may either display or hide his scars depending on his attitude towards them. Half-orcs mature a little faster than humans and age noticeably faster. They reach adulthood at about age 15 and live no longer than 75 years. Because orcs are sworn enemies of dwarves and elves, half-orcs have a rough time with members of these races. For that matter, orcs aren't exactly on good terms with humans, halflings, or gnomes either. Each half-orc finds a way to gain the acceptance of those who hate or fear his orc cousins. Some half-orcs are reserved, trying not to draw attention to themselves. Look, pretty pictures. I lost my place. A few demonstrate good-heartedness as publicly as they can, whether or not what they demonstrate is genuine. Others simply try to be so tough that others have no choice but to accept them. You're scary. I don't like you. Half-orc lands. Half-orcs have no lands of their own, but they often live among orcs. Of other races, humans are the ones who most likely accept half-orcs, and half-orcs almost always live in human lands when they're not living with their orc tribes. A half-orc typically chooses a name that helps him make an impression that he wants to make. If he wants to fit in among human, he chooses a human name. If he wants to imitate others, he would choose a guttural orc name. Half-orcs who have been raised entirely by humans have a human given name, but he may choose another name once he's away from his hometown. Some half-orcs, of course, aren't quite bright enough to choose this name carefully. As you can see, some of these are really silly, like Rot, Crutch, Shump, Dunk. Half-orcs living among humans are drawn almost invariably towards violent careers in which they put their strength to good use. Frequently shunned from polite company, half-orcs often find acceptance and friendship among adventurers, many of whom are fellow wanderers and outsiders. They really like to hit things. Half-orcs have dark vision, so they can see in the dark up to 60 feet, black and white, all that stuff, just like dwarves. And now we get to halflings, which is the last race. Thank goodness. I need a glass of water. Halflings are clever, capable opportunities. Halfling individuals and clans find room for themselves wherever they can. Often they are strangers and wanderers, and others react to them with suspicion or curiosity. Depending on the clan, halflings might be reliable, hardworking, and even clannish, if clannish, citizens, or they might be thieves, just waiting for the opportunity to make a big score and disappear into the dead of night. Regardless, halflings are cunning, resourceful survivors. Halflings prefer trouble to boredom. They are notoriously curious. Relying on their ability to survive or escape danger, they demonstrate a daring that many larger people can't match. Halfling clans are nomadic, wandering wherever circumstance and curiosity take them. Halflings enjoy wealth and pleasures, and the pleasures it can bring, and they tend to spend gold as quickly as they can acquire it. Halflings are also famous collectors. While more unorthodox halflings may collect weapons, books, or jewelry, some collect such objects as the hides of wild beasts, or even the beasts themselves. Wealthy halflings sometimes commission adventurers to retrieve exotic items to complete their collections. Halflings stand about 3 feet tall and usually weigh about 30 to 35 pounds. Their skin is ruddy and their hair is black and straight. They have brown and black eyes. Halfling men often have sideburns, but beards are rare among them and mustaches are almost never seen. They like to wear simple and comfortable and practical clothes. Halflings reach adulthood at the age of 20 and generally live into the mid of our 2nd century. Halflings try to get along with everyone. They are adept at fitting into communities with humans, dwarves, elves, or gnomes, making themselves valuable and welcome. Since human society changes faster than the societies of longer-lived races, it is a human society that most frequently offers halflings opportunities to exploit. So halflings are most often found or around human lands. Halflings have no lands of their own. Instead, they live in lands of other races where they can benefit from whatever resources those areas have to offer. Halflings often form tight-knit communities in human or dwarven cities. Right here. While they work readily with others, they often make friends along with their own kind. Halflings also settled into secluded lands where they set up self-reliant villages. Halfling communities, however, are known for picking up and moving en masse to some place that offers a new opportunity, such as a new mine that has just opened, or to a land where a devastating war has made skilled workers hard to find. If those opportunities are temporary, the community may pick up and move again once the opportunity is gone, and once a better one presents itself. Some halfling communities, on the other hand, take to traveling as a way of life, driving wagons or guiding boats from place to place, and maintaining no permanent home. A halfling has a given name, a family name, and a possible nickname. It would seem that family names are nothing more than nicknames that stuck so well that they have been passed down to the generations. Then they give a bunch of fancy examples. Halflings often set out on their own to make their own way in the world. Halfling adventurers are typically looking for a way to use their skills to gain wealth or status. The distinction between a halfling adventurer and a halfling out for her own looking for a big score can get a bit blurry. For a halfling, adventuring is less of a career than an opportunity, while halfling opportunism can sometimes look like fraud to others. And a halfling adventurer who learns to trust your fellows is worthy of trust in return. See if they have. Okay. Alrighty guys, those are all of the races that are in D&D. At least the basic core races. There are other races that are more complicated and I might get into them later. But for now, these are the basic ones that I want my party to pick from. I hope you kind of know what you want to play. You're thinking about it, you're like, that sounds interesting. So stay tuned, because next we're going into classes. And then you get to say, I want to play this kind of character, this race, and then you can look at the classes and say, hey, this goes good with this. So I hope to see you in the next video. Oh my god.